Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the wild world of AI-powered prototyping. You know, where your big ideas can become actual working apps faster than you can say go. We're putting three of the biggest names out there under the microscope: V0, Bolt, and Lovable. Let's see what they're made of.
Okay, let's be real. Every single one of us has been there, right? You get that lightning bolt of an idea, and then you hit that wall. The huge, frustrating gap between your vision and a product someone can actually click on. It can feel pretty impossible sometimes.
But what if there was a shortcut, a way to bridge that gap almost instantly? Well, that's exactly the promise of AI-driven prototyping. These tools are designed to listen to you, to your plain English descriptions, your design files, and just build. They spit out real working code, and just like that, your vision starts to become a reality.
And look, this isn't some science fiction far-off future stuff. It is happening right now. A recent survey from Stack Overflow showed that a whopping 42% of developers are already using AI to get code and prototypes built. Yeah, the game is changing fast.
I mean, the potential here is just huge. We're talking about cutting your prototyping time in half. But, and this is a big but, not all these AI tools are the same. Not even close. Each one has its own personality, its own philosophy for how things should be built, so let's meet the contenders.
So today, we're focusing on three of the major players in this space: V0, which comes from the folks at Vercel, Bolt from StackBlitz, and a really interesting one called Lovable. Each one tackles the problem of building from a completely different angle. It's really fascinating.
You know, to really get a handle on them, let's think of them as different people on a team. V0. That's your UI specialist, the artist who is absolutely obsessed with getting every pixel perfect. Then you have Bolt. That's the hardcore engineer, the speed tool, just building functional apps at lightning speed. And Lovable? Lovable is kind of like the project manager or the team lead, bringing everyone to the table, even the non-coders, to create something together.
Okay, so now that we know who they are, let's see what they can actually do. It's time to put them head to head. And we've got to start with the biggest question of all. What can you really build with these things?
And right out of the gate, we see a huge difference in their ambitions. V0 is a master of the front end, you know, the shiny part of the app that users actually see and interact with. But Bolt and Lovable, they're going for the whole shebang, the full stack experience, from the buttons on the screen to the database humming away in the background.
So V0 is an absolute dream if you're laser-focused on user interface. It takes what you want and turns it into these beautiful, totally production-ready components using the stuff pros use, like React and Tailwind. It's almost like having a top-tier front-end dev on speed dial.
But see, Bolt and Lovable, they're not happy with just a pretty face. They want to build the whole car. Engine, chassis, everything. We're talking back-end logic, connecting to a real database, handling user logins, all the guts that make an app actually work. They're not just building you a prototype, they're building you an MVP, a minimum viable product you could actually show to users.
This table pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Just look at that best 4 row. It tells you exactly who each tool is for. VO for the designers, Bolt for the devs who need to move fast, and Lovable for the founders. But like with any tool this powerful, there's always a catch, right? And that's what we're going to dig into next, the hidden costs and the things you really need to watch out for.
All right, these tools can feel like pure magic, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Each one has its own kryptonite, its own limitations, and hidden costs that you absolutely have to know about before you commit. So let's pull back the curtain.
Okay, let's talk about the big one: money. Some of these tools, like Bolt, use a token-based pricing system, and that can be tricky. As your project gets more complex, your bill can skyrocket. I mean, look at this quote. One developer burned through over 1 million tokens in a single day. That's a very expensive reminder that this power isn't always cheap.
So here's the bottom line. There's a trade-off with every single one. With V0, you're pretty much tying yourself to the Vercel ecosystem. That's fine if you're already in it, but it's a classic case of vendor lock-in if you ever want to leave. With Bolt, you're constantly playing a game of watch the meter with those costs. And with Lovable, the trade-off is giving up some of that deep, granular code control in exchange for incredible speed.
So with all of that on the table, how in the world do you choose which tool is the right one for you? Well, don't worry, we're going to break it down. Here's a quick guide to help you figure out what makes the most sense for your project, your team, and, yeah, your budget.
Simple. If you live and breathe user interface, if you're a designer or a front-end dev who wants that pixel-perfect, flawless user experience, V0 is your guy. It's, without a doubt, the fastest way to get a beautiful, functional UI built. But what if you have a need for speed?
Then you want Bolt, for developers who just need to get a full-stack app up and running now. For a hackathon, for a proof of concept, for a demo, Bolt is your weapon of choice. 0 to hero in no time.
And finally, for the dreamers, the visionaries, the non-technical founders who have that killer idea but don't write code, there's Lovable. It's honestly revolutionary. It empowers literally anyone to build a real functional app. It's the ultimate tool for validating your idea and turning that dream into something real.
And here's something that's so important and often overlooked. The best tool isn't just about the spec sheet. It's about how your brain works. For someone who maybe struggles with executive function, the zero setup nature of Bolt is incredible. It just removes that barrier to starting and reduces that cognitive load. For a highly visual thinker, V0's instant visual feedback loop is a total godsend. And for people who think best by talking things through, Lovable's conversational AI is a perfect fit. It's a powerful idea. The best tools aren't just smarter, they're more in tune with us as humans.
So where does all this leave us? Is coding as we know it over? Or are we just at the beginning of a whole new chapter of creativity, where anyone with an idea has the power to build it? The line between being a creator and being a coder is getting blurrier every single day. The possibilities are, well, pretty much endless. The only real question left is, what are you going to build?